Naomi Green is a certified vegan lifestyle coach and educator who is also certified in plant-based nutrition from the E. Cornell T. Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies. Naomi specializes in helping people to go whole food vegan and get serious health benefits fast. She has been coaching private clients in groups and running a free online Facebook support group for those going vegan, as well as presenting cooking workshops, cooking parties, and corporate wellness program events around the Tampa Bay area since recovering from breast cancer treatment in 2014. She credits going vegan with much of her health, healing, and happiness. And we are going to have a lot of fun today with this vivacious young woman. She's going to bring the heat for us. Naomi, you ready to rock this?
I so am.
Boom! We're rocking it. We are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. And she is bouncing. She is energized, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
How I roll. This is how I roll.
I love it. I love it. So, Naomi, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate you taking time to share your wisdom about health, nutrition, and being vegan with our audience. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. So we're going to dive right into the theme of the day, which is upgrade your questions. So Naomi, how does this philosophy of asking better questions to shift our reality and create entirely new results? How has that showed up for you?
So when you're brought up in the society that we're brought up in, and we're all, eating meat and cheese, and we were brought up on grilled cheese sandwiches and chicken for dinner and the milk mustache, and beef, what's for dinner. This is what we think is food. This is what we know. We're given pills when we're sick. We're not really ever taught anything about prevention. So once you start asking better questions like, what could I do to avoid taking this pill? Or where does this food really come from? Or is this even actually food? Once you start asking those questions, then you have the power to take back your health and turn it around and make it what you want it to be. Until you ask those questions, you don't have that power because you're just going along with the status quo.
Wow.
So there.
Take back your power, ladies and gentlemen. Love it, love it, love it. So Naomi, thanks for diving in deep right away. We're having a lot of fun. If you all have any questions for Naomi, be sure to ask them. She's going to be here for the next 45, 50 minutes or so. And Naomi, let's dive into a little bit more about what you do and who you are these days.
So I'd like to start at what happened to me to tell you what really happened. So, and this is part of why I wanted to do this on kicking fear's ass. Because I used to be afraid of a lot of things. I was afraid to talk to people. I was afraid of groups. I was afraid of parties. I was afraid of myself. I was afraid of so many things. And so I spent my career in my home office as a journalist, talking to sources on phones, but never really having to deal with people. Early in 2014, I felt a lump in my breast right there. And I didn't think anything of it because when I was a young woman, I had a fibroid cyst, and that's normal for women. That can happen. So I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll go. I'll get a mammogram, blah, blah, right? So after the mammogram and the ultrasound, I had to get a biopsy. And then after that, the doctor called me and she said, you have invasive ductal carcinoma stage 2. And I said, what? And she said, you have invasive ductal carcinoma stage 2. And I said, I don't know what you're saying to me. I don't know what those words are. And she was like, you have breast cancer stage 2. And I was like, no, that can't be me. And the reason I thought that can't be me is because I thought I was healthy. I was eating what we all eat, right? Low carb, high protein, good chicken breasts and broccoli. And I bought organic food, and I knew about kale and superfoods and goji berries and all those things. I jogged with dogs, and I thought I was doing a good job with my health. So for her to tell me that I had breast cancer, I was like, oh, hell no. So then she was like, then they sent me to the oncologist, and she was like, you need to remove your breasts, you need to do chemotherapy, you need to do radiation, and you need to do it right now. So like, I did what she said. I didn't know. I didn't ask the questions that were taught. They don't give you any time, first of all, and they tell you you're going to die if you don't. So you just don't know at that time. So that relates to asking better questions when you're faced with a cancer diagnosis. You need to like stop and ask. So I did all the things she said, and a full 10 months later, when I was bald and scared and scarred up on both sides, I didn't know what I was going to do to keep the cancer away. And the doctor was saying to me, well, okay, so here's what happens. So at the end of cancer treatment, they ring this dumb bell in the chemo room, and they're like, yay, you're done. But then the doctor says to you, but you need to come back every 3 months, and we need to check your blood because we'll tell you when the cancer comes back. So I was like, what? Right. It comes back? What are you talking about? No. So she was like, I want you to take this pill, and this pill will reduce the likelihood that the cancer will come back. I tried to take the pill, and the pill hurts bad. It takes away a woman's estrogen, and that hurts bad for a woman in her in her mid-40s. That is bad. Right. Women need estrogen to feel good, to look nice, to walk, everything. So she said, we'll tell you when the cancer comes back. And I decided that I was going to ask her to tell me what I should eat, because I knew about superfoods. I thought there had to be something to do with the food. So I went to my oncologist and I was like, hey, tell me, what should I eat to keep the cancer from coming back? Or what should I not eat that causes cancer that's going to keep it from coming back? And she said, it doesn't matter what you eat. And I was like, what? Because I know that food is important. I just didn't know how important. And she said to me again, I want you to take these pills, and it doesn't matter what you eat. And then I was pissed, and she was pissed at the same. She was pissed at me, and I was pissed at her. So I just like flipped my hair and left. And I thought about what she said, and I was realizing that they serve cupcakes and cheese crackers in the room. So I understood that she really believed that it doesn't matter what you eat. Wow. So I went home, and I was desperate. I was really upset, and I started, Google searching, consulting Dr. Google. You know how we don't believe the doctor. Yep. So I started consulting Dr. Google, and I was searching, cancer and food and nutrition, and I came across the documentary Forks Over Knives. And that documentary blew my mind because they're going along. It's presented by two of the world's most renowned physicians and nutrition researchers. And he's Dr. T. Colin Campbell, who's the Center for Nutrition Studies that I took the plant-based nutrition course in. He's describing his 30 years of nutrition research on animal proteins. And he just says like this while I'm bald and watching and crying. And he says, we found that eating animal protein turns cancer cells on, and not eating it turns cancer cells off. And I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe that. Yeah. So I ran into the kitchen, and I threw away everything that there was. And I was thinking like, oh my God, that's something that I can grab onto. That's something like at least that I can do. Yeah. So then I was listening to the rest of the documentary, and they go on to talk about how animal proteins and the fat and cholesterol in animal foods is the main source of diabetes and heart disease and the whole obesity epidemic that's going on in this country, and that's the cause of it. And so if that's the cause of it, then whole plant foods is the solution to it, based on stacks of evidence that they have that proves that that's so. So I thought to myself, oh my God, I have to tell people this thing. Yeah. And so I went to New York, and I got certified as a vegan lifestyle coach. And then I came home, and I took that plant-based nutrition studies course so that I could help people who want to know how to get their proper nutrition when they go vegan. And I totally started a coaching business, and now I'm running group programs and I'm doing one-on-one coaching, and it's just exploded. I'm all over the place, especially in my Tri-County area. And it's really cool to watch these transformations happen in people.
Wow. Incredible. I love it. I love the journey. Thank you for taking us through that moment of despair too. Like when you were like, what the heck? Like I did all this, like mutilation to my body to try to get to this point of healing. And you're telling me it's not even guaranteed? What kind of BS is that?
Yeah, they don't tell you that beforehand either.
Man.
They don't tell you not anything useful beforehand.
Yeah, and it's just like people are just, they expect their doctor to have the best advice for them. That, like, historically, that's what it's programmed into us. Our doctor has the answer. You don't feel well, go to the doctor. But it's all just treating the symptoms rather than getting to the cure. And or not cure, but yes, how to heal. Right.
That's 100% true. Doctors are not trained in nutrition, and they're not trained in prevention. They are fantastic at taking an acute problem like a heart attack and keeping you alive, or if you break your leg or you're in a car accident, they can fix that.
Right.
But when it comes to prevention, they're just not trained. That's just not their frame of mind. And by the way, the pharmaceutical companies fund the medical schools, and so that's where the focus really lies.
Right.
And so you're not getting this information from your doctor, just like my oncologist said to me ridiculously that it doesn't matter what you eat. That is such wrong information, especially if a patient is asking and begging to be told how to eat healthy. You should know. You're a doctor.
Yeah.
They don't know. And luckily there is a giant push for plant-based doctors.
Yeah.
And so there are more and more, and you can even go on a website and search plantbaseddocs.org, I think, and the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, so that you can find one. But they're few and far between still.
Well, I'm curious, since you experienced the pain or the impact of the lack of this knowledge being available, and now you're at a position where you can make it readily available for people all around you, like what do you see and what's it like being a part of the transition generation from unconscious medicine practice to conscious and aware and holistic and more spiritually tuned in?
Oh my God, it is so amazing to see the blinders drop, to see the veil lift when people experience the food and then what it does to their body. When they experience that themselves and you can see the spark in their eye, it is an unbelievable thing to be a part of. It's just amazing. So that's why I am doing all of this, to reach more and more people.
So for people who think that it's more genetic, or it's more like, I'm either predisposed to cancer, or it's like that kind of mindset, what do you say to those people?
So genetics is like a gun, and it's loaded, right? It's loaded with these cancer genes, for example.
Right.
But many things pull the trigger, and one of the biggest things that pulls the trigger is nutrition.
Wow.
And one of the things that will express the gene, and the right nutrition will keep the gene in the gun. So nutrition is a trigger. Even if, let's say, you're exposed to a carcinogen and you have that nutrition that is anti-inflammatory, antioxidants going through your bloodstream every day, killing those cancer cells, they're not going to express. That's a fact. And that is also based on more than 30 years of research by Dr. T. Colin Campbell and his team. And people that are interested can read all about that in this book called The China Study, which outlines all of his research on animal proteins to date and how it affects disease. And this book over here is written by Dr. Michael Greger. Look how fat this is. It's called How Not to Die. And in it contains how not to die of the top 16 killers in the United States, whether you have the genetics for it or not, that it doesn't matter if you have the genetics for it, whether it's obesity, whether it's diabetes, whether it's heart disease, whether it's cancer, no matter what. So the best thing that you can do to take the power back to yourself is get that nutrition right, which is, focusing on whole plant foods.
Yeah. What's the biggest challenge in someone going from a plant-based only diet or, like majority? What's the biggest challenge to getting rid of the meat, the dairy, that kind of stuff, and switching to primarily vegan?
So we call it the standard American diet. The acronym is SAD, S-A-D. And diet, because people are so sick and people are suffering. And so the biggest challenge is probably the learning, the belief. You have to have the belief by doing this research, by watching those documentaries, by reading some of these books, by watching some videos, by talking to other people, by looking at success stories. You need to take that initiative to search it out. And that's what you need to do first, because that gives you the impetus to move forward. If you don't believe in your heart that those foods are hurting you, you're going to have a hard time staying away from them. You're just going to be like, oh, I want ice cream. Oh, I love ice cream cheese. So that's the biggest hurdle. And then the difference between doing it and not doing it is just simply the decision. The decision is the line in the sand. And that's all that it is. Once you make so people that struggle or go on and off of it, they don't truly believe, and they haven't made that decision. People who make the decision have amazing results, and they get off their meds, and they lose the weight, and they keep it off. And I've seen it over and over. And then some other ailments that they might have been suffering from, like let's say they had all kinds of digestive issues and were told they had irritable bowel syndrome, or they suffer migraine headaches, or they have some kind of thyroid issue, all these other things, chronic pain, anxiety, depression, all of these things also magically lift when you take control in this way. It is phenomenally crazy. The way you can't believe it every single time. And so Forks Over Knives, the movie that I told you about, has a website where they publish success stories, and they got hundreds of them on there. Every different kind of ailment where the person tells their story, just like I told you my story, same exact thing. And so I do that also with all my clients. I create like these, images with their quotes, and I write up their stories on the blog. And in my Facebook group, where everybody is going vegan for their health and they're going through this transition, I put those visuals up there, and I encourage people that have had success to chime in and tell what happened when they went vegan. And they'll be like, oh my God, my cholesterol dropped 40 points, and my rosacea cleared up, and my blood pressure is normal, and I'm off of injectable insulin. And they'll all chime in, and it is just amazing.
So it sounds like one of the most powerful things that we could do is to get around the results and the feeling of what happens when we make this change, to create like support communities, to keep continuously consuming the information about what is the best way. It's like to have that insatiable hunger to find out more, to not tolerate, man, I feel like crap. Man, I have no energy. Man, I, am dealing with pre-cancer, signals or things going on in my life. And just instead be like, I'm going to figure this out. I've made the decision. I'm going to take one step at a time, one day at a time. And I know that I deserve to be healthy. I know that I'm supposed to be full of energy and vibrant and alive and able to live many, many more years and enjoy those years.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You got to search it out currently, but there are some doctors who will help you with it. So you really got to search it out and give it a try. You have to really talk to yourself. So one thing that I do in all of my programs and I do with clients, and the first thing we ever do is mindset work. Because you have got to, like I said before, A, believe it, B, believe that you're worth it, and C, believe that you can do it and set yourself up for success by, you know, visualizing. Something I like to do with clients is to ask them, you know, if you didn't have this extra 70 pounds and you weren't taking these 4 medications and you weren't so tired and you could get around, what is it that you would like to do in your life that you're not doing now? And they get started talking, and it's wonderful. So we cultivate that future visual to help them along.
Wow. Amazing. Beautiful, beautiful. So what else can these people who are curious, you know, they're open to it, because obviously the people who are closed off wouldn't even be listening to this interview, but the people who are curious and want to know more, like where do they, you mentioned a couple of resources, but just give us an overall holistic picture and some strategies and tactics as well as how to get started going down this journey.
So so I like to start at the biggest things and then move toward so the biggest thing there is TV. Right? Everybody has TV. Most everybody has Netflix. So I will always tell everybody that they need the overview. Hear it from the doctors who are doing this, treating their patients this way, and the clinicians and the physicians who have done the research. So that is watching Forks Over Knives, watching the documentary What the Health. And there was just a brand new one that came out last year, and they showed it online for like a month, and then it was in the movie theaters a couple of weeks ago. Only on April 5th was the only time you could go to the movies and see this, but they'll probably make it available. And it was called Eating You Alive. And I took my notebook into the movie theater because I did a session on what that was about, like a recap. And I was going to write down all the doctors that were in that, but there were so many I couldn't scribble fast enough. So, like in Forks Over Knives, it's presented by the 2 most world-renowned. Right. And then What the Health, there are 10 plant-based doctors and physicians and nutritionists and all kinds of food policy experts. But in this movie, there's like hundreds. There were so many. Wow. So that shows you how it's really building. So I always tell people to watch documentaries first. And if you're not interested in health, there's tons of benefits for going vegan for the environment. And if you're interested in, animal cruelty issues, which is when you start to think about, this is about asking the questions, where does this cow come from? Or how about, what do they do with the 50% of male chickens born when we only eat the females and use the females for egg laying? What happens? How do they make that many turkeys be that size right at Thanksgiving? How do they do that? Like, what person's job is it to actually like think it through? Ask yourself those questions. So those documentaries are Cowspiracy, Earthlings, Vegucated. There's many, many more. So I always suggest to people to watch the documentaries first. Then some people are not visually oriented, and so then there's all these books, like I showed you. So this is one of the best ones, How Not to Die, and it's written Dr. Michael Greger, and he is so awesome because he runs a free website called nutritionfacts.org, and you can go on that website, and what he does is the coolest thing. He sifts through the medical evidence and research every single day to answer a question about nutrition based on today's medical evidence. So if you want to understand why soy is actually health protective and all those things they say about soy causing man boobs is a myth, you can go on nutritionfacts.org and you should see the evidence that proves it, because he shows the evidence in the videos and explains it. The coolest thing ever. So that's Dr. Greger. Then there's Dr. Neil Barnard. This is all about solving diabetes, prevent and reverse heart disease. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. He did the world's first research proving that plant foods could unblock arteries, and he's got the pictures to prove it. And that's shown in Forks Over Knives. But this is the book that explains that research and also has recipes and how to do it. So that's heart disease, diabetes. If you're just chronically overweight and you've dieted yourself into a yo-yo case, that's that.
Wow.
If you're a science geek and you want to read all the science behind all this, that's this. If you have cancer like I did, this book, The 9 Common Factors That Really Make a Difference, Surviving Cancer at All Odds, this book changed my life. It wasn't just the food, it was other things I could do to keep it away. So these are all things that I will, okay, here's one, Dr. Neil Barnard, he wrote it about cheese, why it's a trap, how it's addictive, and what the food companies do to get you to eat the stuff. Crazy shit. So,
and by the way, before we continue any further, you're giving great resources. And we had Sharon Hale saying Naomi Green is great. She helped me lose 65 pounds over a year to a very slender weight. The weight has been incredibly easy to maintain on a near WFPB. What does that stand for?
Whole food, plant-based.
Whole food, plant-based lifestyle. An unexpected bonus is that all of my pain of 35 years just left and on no meds.
See? That's exactly the kind of thing that you can expect from a whole food, plant-based diet. Now you know the acronym is WFPB.
I love it. WFPB. Hashtag WFPB.
This is for athletes and protein geeks. Like, oh my God, I need 300 milligrams of protein a day. No, you don't. You need to lose. For cancer, thyroid healing. These are all written by physicians and researchers, and they all say the same thing.
Wow.
All of these illnesses are caused by the same thing, and that means they can be cured by the same thing.
Woohoo!
And if you heard that and you had one of these illnesses, why not give it a try? Yeah. So that's part of kicking fear's ass. You got to learn a little more. And yeah.
Love it. I love it. So tell us more about this philosophy of kicking fear's ass. What does that mean? What does that look like? Why did you come up with that perspective over become healthy and become, a vibrant vegan?
Because, and I've heard this over and over from people who are interested in joining my programs, because, I'll interview them and talk to them.
Yeah.
They're scared. They're scared of the genetics. Like you asked me about the genetics. They're like, oh my God, like I know a guy who he's got 9 brothers and sisters, and they all have diabetes, and a bunch of them, they're all very overweight, very obese. Half of them have lost feet and toes and legs, and he's next. He weighs like 400 pounds, but he's so scared. He just doesn't believe. He won't search for the information he doesn't know. So people are really scared that their genetics, that they're trapped, and they're told by the doctor that they're trapped. So wow. I want to, part of kicking fear's ass is telling people that they are not trapped. The second part of kicking fear's ass is, again, getting this knowledge and making that decision. And then the third part of kicking fear's ass is taking massive action. Go to your refrigerator and throw that shit out. That's what I'm saying.
Boom. Love it.
Boom.
What kind of resources do you have for people to know what kinds of foods they should be eating instead of those old, outdated paradigm foods?
Yeah, so lots of people hear the word vegan and they think about like fake cheese, fake meat, right?
Yep.
Fake chicken, those Gardein products that are like fake chicken nugget things. That's not what we're talking about. That stuff is loaded with food chemicals, fat, cholesterol, added sugar, added fat, other things that you would not want in your food. And so that's not what you want at all. What you want is a whole food, plant-based diet, WFPB, which consists of fruits, vegetables, grains, and beans. Now you might be like, what is that? What am I going to eat? Twigs? No. So I created a naturally vegan food cheat sheet that people can get on my website. It looks like this for free.
Okay.
List of 30 or more foods that are naturally vegan, meaning it's a food or a recipe that by its origin or nature just doesn't have any animal products in it. So what are some examples of that? Rice and beans. Okay. Minestrone soup, an Italian vegetable bean delicious soup. Lentil soups, all kinds of potato dishes, pasta primavera, all kinds of just regular food, miso soup, all kinds of just regular food that you can eat. So when I work with a client, so first of all, I'll always suggest people get this list and, make a little grid for themselves called breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And then write down all the things from this list that you love that fit in those categories. Only if you love them, not if you don't love them, you don't write them down. And you start like that. And that's how you start. And then you need to use your own will to go on to Pinterest and search out stuff. Another great thing to do is to just get one of the cookbooks by these plant-based experts, like Forks Over Knives cookbook. And because it's all whole food plant-based dishes with no oil. So if you just eat from that cookbook, you are going to lose weight quickly, faster than you ever dreamed possible, but it's going to be delicious. And your blood pressure is going to come down, your cholesterol is going to plummet, your glucose is going to stabilize, and your pain is going to go away, like Sharon just said. That's what happens when you whole food, plant-based, no oil, fruits, vegetables, grains, and beans.
You said no oil. Why no oil?
Well, oil is not a whole food. You know why? Want to know why? Why? This is a very big question that most people have. I did a big video, big Facebook Live on it. So what kind of oil do you like, for example?
Extra virgin olive oil.
Okay, extra virgin olive oil. So what's the fruit? The whole food is the olive, right?
Right.
And in the olive is antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and fluid, along with essential fatty acids of the fat that makes the oil. When you take the oil out of the olive, all you're getting is the fat. None of that other awesome stuff that, by the way, tastes delicious. Just the fat. And so the fat is 120 calories a tablespoon. So I did this, when I first learned about this, I did this little experiment where I pour, you know how you do this on the pan when you're cooking with the oil, you put it in. I did that, and then I decided to measure how much was I really using. Turned out to be like almost 4 tablespoons.
Wow.
Recipes will call for, a quarter cup when you're making a soup to saute the onions and garlic and carrots and celery, that kind of thing. So 4 tablespoons times 120, 480 calories of pure fat.
Wow.
That's not all I ate in the whole day, though. There was more. There was salad dressing. There was this, that.
What about coconut oil or ghee?
Ghee is an animal product, so then you've got the problem with the cholesterol and the animal protein and the saturated fat that comes with all of that.
Oh, man.
On top of that, the calories and the sheer fat. And coconut oil is oil because oil is oil. The good stuff's in the coconut, not oil. So, and what people don't know, and especially the people following keto diets and the people following paleo diets that have like a high oil intake, what they don't understand is that oil damages the inside of the arteries called the endothelial cells. It causes inflammation in those cells. And even though you may look super buff and feel great, that is what's happening inside. Wow. And it just builds and builds and builds and builds. And there's no way around that. And that is the actual truth. And the Dr. Esselstyn, the one who did the research on heart disease, that is the cause of heart disease.
Wow.
So when people get the oil out of their diet, so you learn to saute in veggie broth, and things taste amazing, so they're not all coated with oil. So, because don't get me wrong, I love oil. I used to love oil so much, like I told you, 3-4 tablespoons when I'm cooking. Yeah. But I learned how easy it was to lose weight and how much better you feel without it and how just explosive everything tastes without it. And the weight loss and the health benefits come so fast for people that are sick. Wow. So fast.
Just from that one substitution.
Yeah. Yep. It's amazing. So that's the number one. So I could give you a couple of things you could do to add more plant foods to your diet and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Number one is get off the cow milk. Get off the cow milk immediately and choose a plant milk. Yeah. Nobody needs to drink the baby milk of another species. That is ridiculous. Okay, we're talking about asking better questions. Why would a human being that weaned off of its mother drink the milk of another species for the rest of its life when the species of milk that it's drinking, it's designed to grow a tiny calf into a 400-pound mammal as quick as possible? So how could this be a thing that a human should drink? And by the way, they researched and they found out that the amount of animal protein, casein, that's in cow's milk is like, I forget how many percent, a crazy amount of percent higher than what an actual human's breast milk is. Wow. So, because that's what humans need. So number one is to get off the cow milk as fast as possible. And you can easily make that substitution, right, by choosing one of the plant milks. Have you tried any of the plant milks?
Like almond milk?
Yep, like almond milk, cashew milk,
yep,
oat milk, any of the nut milks. Ripple is the new pea protein.
What do you think about soy milk?
I think soy milk is fantastic. Yes, awesome. And it's super health protective for breast cancer patients like me. So, yeah.
Wow. Powerful. So what else? What other substitutions, other actionable things can we do to optimize our health?
The other thing is to start adding more plant foods to your diet. So, like if you want to do meatless Mondays, pick one and start looking at some new recipes and start making some rice and beans. If you love rice and beans, start making it more often. If you love any of soups that I mentioned, minestrone or a lentil soup, start making that more often. If you love salads, start adding more veggies to it and eating it more often. So another thing I do with the really sick clients who love salad, some people don't like it. Some people will come to me and say, I hate vegetables. And then you start where they are, wherever that is. But if they love salad, I will have a salad a day, because that is where the benefits are and that is where the results are. And when I say a salad, I don't mean some puny little salad with a bunch of leaves. No, I mean a plate full of every vegetable chopped up that you have in the fridge, along with whatever kind of bean or grain you might have in the fridge. So let's say I have some leftover quinoa, so boom, then I can add the protein to my salad. Let's say I have a few beans and I don't have quinoa, boom, I can add the protein to my salad. Or avocado, you could put some nuts. And this way you're having the fat and the protein along with all those plant foods to keep you sustained. Because if you just ate a puny salad, that would be a crappy diet and you'd be miserable. That is not what this is at all. And in fact, I will say to people, eat more fruits, vegetables, grains, and beans. So that's the other tip. Like if you're currently eating no fruit, then that's your ticket. Eat some fruit.
Yeah.
Eating one kind of fruit, find another kind that you love and start eating it more.
What would you say are the top recommendations for fruit?
Any fruit that you love is the fruit to eat. I would never tell people to eat things that they don't love, because that's not what life is about, right? No. Life is about making it what you love and eating what you love. And so I would never tell somebody to eat something they don't like. So whatever fruit you like, that's the fruit to eat. And it doesn't matter what it is. if a person comes to me and says, I only like iceberg lettuce, fine. Iceberg lettuce has vitamin C and tons of fluid in it and tons of fiber. So you can't poo-poo it just because it's not dark green. It doesn't matter. All plant foods have phytochemicals that work in synergy within the plant that affect your body in a way that your body knows how to use it. And that's why whole plant foods can act in the body the way they do.
Wow.
So start separating out like, oh, the superfood is just turmeric. No, it's the whole root. And then it's everything that goes with everything you ate with it. It's eating a varied diet all the time. It's not just one superfood. That's not what it is. It's all the things.
Wow. So powerful. I love that because it's really just going against the modern paradigm, like what everyone believes is that I have to be restricted. It's like, no, you have variety, you have options, and it has to suck. It's like, no, do what you love, eat the vegetables and stuff that you do love. And I'm sure as we begin to eat more and more vegetables and fruits and a variety, if you didn't like one before, we're probably more open to enjoying these other vegetables and fruits that we didn't like before because it's more about how it makes us feel than what we thought about it before. We thought that taste didn't appeal to us before, and I'm sure people evolve through their tastes as they go through this process too.
That is 100% correct, is that people reset their taste buds because currently on the SAD diet, there's this called the pleasure trap where because you're eating this processed food that's loaded with oil, salt, sugar, and fat, it tastes very strong and your taste buds are up here. But when you remove all that and you're just eating fruits, vegetables, greens, and beans and delicious combinations with all sorts of natural spices and herbs and broths and just, oh my God, like if you knew what I had in my Instant Pot right now. And so when you start eating like that, the taste buds come back down to where you eat a piece of pineapple and it's like an explosion of sugar.
Yeah.
And everything tastes amazing. And so then when you go out and you get something that's like all oily and greasy, you're like, blah, blah. It's really, or you're like, that's too salty and it's so sweet. And by accident, one time I got garlic knots from the pizzeria and they had cheese on them. And I was like, it tastes like plastic.
Yep.
Whole foods do a beautiful thing the way they work in the body, and that's just so empowering when somebody realizes that.
Yeah.
Specialize in just naturally vegan foods, nothing weird, nothing crazy. You don't got to cook all day long. Yeah.
Wow. Powerful. So, Naomi, I want to hear if there's any last minute, really powerful guidance or advice or things that we can shift or change out to be more healthy, more vegan, more aware in our really just feeling amazing.
Ask those questions. Questions that I talked about in here about where does the food come from? Who's doing those jobs? How do they do that? Why is McDonald's so popular? Why does the USDA have this plate that says we should eat meat and dairy when it's really not good? Why? So ask why and search out the information. That is the biggest step, is to get curious, to get out of your own mind. That's the biggest step.
That why, that openness, right? It's like if you're not feeling good, do something about it. Be curious about it. Don't believe that you're stuck in a box. Be open to finding that solution.
You are not stuck in a box. And you got to be open to finding that solution and then taking massive action.
Yeah.
So that's how people find me when they get ready to take massive action and find an expert, or even for free to come in my group and see what everybody's eating and saying and talking about. It's the greatest thing ever.
I love it.
Fun.
I love it. Awesome.
For Health on Facebook.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's share with them how they can stay connected with you and what do we want them to do next.
So hop onto Facebook, and on the Going Vegan for Health Facebook page, you can find a link for the Going Vegan for Health Facebook group. And if that's something that you want to learn about or do, request to join that group, answer my 2 questions, and then I will let you in. And you will be able to meet all the cool people who are asking these questions, taking action, turning around their health, telling their stories. It's just fantastic, my group members.
I love it.
All the time. And then if you want that naturally vegan food cheat sheet to try to get yourself started on your own, you can go right to my website, which is goingveganforhealth.com. And right at the top, there's a little green button that says naturally vegan food cheat sheet. Download here.
Love it. Love it. Naomi, you're a superstar. Thank you for all that you're doing to empower our world to be healthier, to live more energized, vibrant, conscious, aware, loving, peaceful, harmonious lives. You're just really planting some amazing seeds here today and every day, and we're so blessed to have you doing this work.
Sure. Did you watch What the Health?
I have not yet.
Now you know what you need to do.
It's my homework. It's my homework.
I always give my prospective clients homework. That's what I do. Because everybody ask the questions to learn more.
Yeah. Awesome. Naomi, thank you so much, and we will see you very soon, okay?
Okay, bye.
All right. Take care.